Throughout the entirety of the Super Mario Bros. Franchise, there's been one person that our mustachioed hero can consistently rely on, and his younger brother Luigi, coming in to assist you on your journey, or sometimes just popping in for a quick cameo. Knowing how important the green goofball is to the series, I felt like he deserved his own video, where I'm gonna go through each game and explain every single time the character appears. I think you'll really enjoy this video, and learn a thing or two that you might not have known. And oh yeah, before we get started, my name is Copycat, and if you haven't yet, then please subscribe to my channel, hitting that bell to stay notified when I upload new videos. Obviously, Luigi's first appearance was in Super Mario Bros. For the NES as a Player 2 option, here functioning literally the exact same as Mario, but just colored green. This mode was more of a face-off than it would be co-op, so the brothers / you at home are battling it out, switching every time a death occurs. However, Luigi wasn't invented for this specific home console title, and was actually created by legendary developer Gunpei Yokoi as the second player in the Mario Bros. Arcade cabinet. Just like Mario, Nintendo of America gave the brothers iconic name, basically just being a bit taller and a bit more skittish. In the Western version of Super Mario Bros. 2 for the NES, Luigi is a playable character right from the beginning, as you can choose who you want to go through each level with, as all characters have slightly different attributes. Mario's pretty standard with decent speed and jumping ability. Toad is incredibly fast and also randomly is the strongest but has no jump. Peach is weak but can float in mid-air, which is a huge advantage. And finally, Luigi can jump the highest of all and can flutter in mid-air for a few seconds. This is very useful in extremely specific spots in the game, usually leading to some sort of hidden secret. Now, in the Japanese Famicom version of Super Mario Bros. 2, Luigi appears as an alternate option to play with as there is no multiplayer mode. Here he acts similarly to the North American release, and thankfully is not just a straight up Mario clone. If you're wondering why there's two different versions of the game, that's because Nintendo felt like the Japanese sequel would end up being too hard for Western audiences to complete. So instead, they took a game that was inspired by Mario called Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic, reskinned it with Mushroom Kingdom inhabitants, resulting in a very unique title for that obvious reason. Of course, Nintendo would eventually release that Famicom version in North America in the Super Mario All-Stars SNES collection, so it's not like it was hidden from our existence forever. The final of the original trilogy, Super Mario Bros. 3, came out for the NES in 1990, also having multiplayer play where Luigi shows up, but this time it's more in the co-op format. This is because the characters switch every time a level is completed, meaning the brothers this time are helping each other out on their adventure, rather than just trying to see who's the best. Luigi has no distinctive attributes in this one, other than being colored green, sort of reverting the gameplay from what we saw in Super Mario Bros. 2, but then again, that was pretty extraordinary circumstances. Also, if both Mario and Luigi get together on the overworld map, then you have the option to access the battle game, which is a mode that's very reminiscent to the Mario Bros. Arcade entry. Honestly, I completely forgot that this was even a thing, and when I came across it again, I had flashbacks of my sisters playing it when I was a kid. Luigi wouldn't appear in the series' first handheld entry, Super Mario Land, so we're going to skip ahead to the next one he's in, which is Super Mario World for the SNES. Once again, the bro appears in two-player mode, but here things are changed again, so that the character shift occurs every completed level and also every death. You are still working together, so thankfully that wasn't taken away, and on top of that, if your partner had already triggered the halfway checkpoint in the stage, then you just automatically start there. Luigi would skip appearances in several of the follow-up Mario entries, but is at least mentioned in a very subtle, secretive way in Super Mario 64 for the N64, specifically through this statue in the castle's courtyard. If you go really close to the star and enter first-person camera mode, then on the plaque you can make out the words, "L is real," which for years was speculated to mean that Luigi was meant to appear in this title in some way, shape, or form, yet no one knows how to unlock him. Through data mining of the game's code, it was eventually discovered that there was meant to be a co-op mode where Luigi was to appear, but this was found to be too difficult for the system to handle. At least knowing this reference is real is a big relief to us Easter egg hunters, as for years this nod was under heavy speculation and criticism. In the Super Mario 64 DS release, Luigi is actually one of 4 playable characters you can use throughout Peach's castle. Luigi's here given cool attributes like being able to jump high, float a bit while he's descending, and walk on water for a short period of time. In Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube, there is no sighting of Luigi in Delfino Isle, but he is mentioned by a Pianta that is working within the Hotel Delfino. During episode 3 of Serena Beach, you're able to enter the rafters of the ghost-infested building, where you'll come across an employee who states, "All these ghosts are causing such trouble. They're everywhere. Why can't someone just come along and suck them up with a vacuum?" This is an obvious nod to the Luigi's Mansion series, where the Green Bro uses his special device to capture the creepy entities and ensure that they don't cause any more trouble. I get that this isn't really an appearance, but any mention of Luigi I feel like I should at least touch on. Nintendo would return the series to its 2D roots with the release of New Super Mario Bros. For the dual-screen system, where Luigi is actually playable in one-player mode right from the beginning of the game, although it doesn't necessarily tell you that. To unlock him, you just have to press L plus R and A on the file you want to play, which will switch characters for you. But the method to do this is only told to you once everything's completed, so I don't think you'd figure this out on your own. There's also a multiplayer Mario vs. Luigi mode, where you face off with a friend controlling one of the brothers, collecting as many stars as you can before time runs out. Up next is the space-based Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii, where the brother first shows up in the ghostly galaxy, being held captive in the mansion by a bunch of ghosts. This, of course, again, is a nod to the Luigi's Mansion series, although the roles are reversed, and hysterically Mario has to become a Boo to save the day. Luigi then doesn't become playable until after you collect all 120 base power stars and complete the Fate of the Universe defeating Bowser. Again, like a broken record, Luigi can jump higher, but has way less traction than the main mustachioed man, even though he is faster. This speed also means that his cosmic clone is a bit more challenging, so be prepared for a pretty tough race. The second entry in the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series came out for the Wii in 2009, having a co-op multiplayer mode that's available immediately, which includes Mario, Luigi, and 2 colored Toads. In this title, Luigi also appears out of the Super Guide block and will complete an entire level for you as long as you've died a total of 8 times in a row trying to complete it. This does tarnish your save file stars, but it is useful for newbies and young kids who might be struggling to finish a stage. Although, do note, it does not work in World 9. In the second space-based entry, Super Mario Galaxy 2 also for the Wii, Luigi offers to join your team from time to time after you got into World 3 of the game. When you switch bros at the beginning of each galaxy, that usually means there's some sort of particular mission Luigi himself is meant to go on to collect a star. After you've completed Bowser's fortified castle and the initial game is beaten, then he becomes permanently available to use in any galaxy, and can be changed into by entering a door beneath the stern of Starship Mario. Again, he has a high jump, but can be very slippery when moving, which are now 2 attributes that are basically tied to the character. Although, in this game, I find it only gives you a few advantages. Nintendo would perfectly blend the 2D and 3D realms with the creation of Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS, where again, you can switch to Luigi at a certain point in the game. This is only after you beat the Special 1 castle, where again, Luigi can jump higher than his brother, but here it's not as drastic as in other entries, even though his traction is low and that can be annoying. The third entry in the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series is oddly given the title of only being the second game. Anyways, here Luigi appears initially as the second player in co-op mode, where then you and a friend who has the game and the system can go on your own adventure together, which is a lot of fun during long road trips, even if I found the game to be a bit lackluster. He can also be playable in solo mode and is unlocked with the same L, R, and A input. But here, it only works once you've cleared the World 6 castle. The final of the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series came out for the Wii U in 2012, where Luigi is only playable in this entry during the co-op multiplayer mode. However, whichever character you choose to be, they all have the exact same attributes and operates essentially the same, although maybe being slightly different heights. Nintendo would release an adjacent game to celebrate the year of Luigi in New Super Luigi U, where the green main character does actually jump higher and move differently through tougher levels based on what we saw in the base game. If you buy the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe Switch release, then you'll also get that Luigi DLC mode, so I suggest that you try this game out if you haven't, especially in preparation for Super Mario Bros. Wonder. What's so interesting about Super Mario 3D World is that right from the beginning, you can choose between Mario, Luigi, Peach, or Toad, just like you could way back in Super Mario Bros. 2. Of course, Luigi jumps higher and has lower traction, and can be really useful during some levels, but really detrimental during others. So actually picking the right character to use is very necessary. Also, as a nod to the year of Luigi, aka the brother's 30th anniversary was being celebrated during this game's release, the developers added 8-bit Luigis to find in almost every single level of the game, which as a Where's Waldo fanatic is an amazing treat. Unfortunately, there's no checklist of which levels have them, and it doesn't indicate to you when you've found them, so some of the more insane ones might not have been found, and could still be out there. Super Mario Odyssey is the first of the more recent games to not include Luigi as a playable character, instead being instated months later as the host of a different mode. This is Luigi's Balloon World, where you have the option to hide balloons for people to find, or find balloons that other people have hidden. Of course here, Nintendo continues the tradition of not allowing people to directly interact with randoms online. But this content at least led to some amazing moments for my channel, so I'm glad at least they tried something completely new. The final title we're going to look at in this video is the Bowser's Fury game mode that came out alongside the re-release of Super Mario 3D World for the Switch, where Luigi only shows up in one form, in the Fury Shadows. These are dark, goop-covered enemies that Mario must defeat in 3 hits to gain a cat shine. But they do give you some trouble as they move pretty fast, and at times transform into a spiky ball. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, please leave a like, comment below what you thought about it, and of course subscribe to my channel. Also, please give my Instagram a follow at Copycat Gamer. There I upload some cool clips and items for my collection that you won't see anywhere else. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!